Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sundays Talking Town. I'm, of course, your host, the Gov. Looking forward to discussing all things football with you, from Euro chat, some England chat, and, of course, the mighty Ipswich Town chat as well. We've got, obviously, the fixtures coming up in the coming week. I'm going to ask you who you'd like on opening day, Boxing Day, and your last three of the season. If you could be the supercomputer and predict it yourself, we'll have some transfer rumours, all sorts going on. So if you're watching this live, please do get active in the live chat. If you're watching on catch up, hello. Hope you had a wonderful day, and leave a comment whenever you hear something you want to get involved with, and leave us your opinion. If you like the show, hit the like button, and of course, subscribe for more Talking Town action. And we are partnered with Match Bingo. The season may have finished, but the European Championships continue, and there are some European Championship games on the Match Bingo app. How you download it is on your screen right now, and I'm on their app right now on my phone, and it just says here, get £20 free when you deposit £10 for Euro 24. We're offering you a special treat. Simply deposit £10 via Top Up My Balance in my account, and we'll give you an extra £20 when you do, so you can enjoy more of the football as England, and it says Scotland here, but we'll gloss over that. Go for glory. Offer ends Wednesday, 26th of June. Offer available one time only. Qualifying deposit required by midnight on the 26th of June, and bonus funds must be used within 14 days of receipt. Bonus funds cannot be withdrawn. Withdrawal of funds before spending all bonus funds will result in bonus funds being forfeited. That was read out by me. It wasn't a sped up machine. It was not a sped up machine. I need one of those. I really do. But as you download it, it's on the screen right now. If you're listening on our audio platform, go to your app store and find Match Bingo. Over 18s only. Be gamble aware. We've got Afternoon by Andrew. Welcome in, Andrew. George Hayes. Remember when we were excited about getting John Nolan? Not sure I was ever quite excited, George, but I'll take it you were. Kevin Gates, his first game, Man City home, West Ham away on Boxing Day. The last game, he wants Tottenham. Love that, Big Kev. Love that. Let us know what you're thinking, etc., as we proceed through the show. Joining me this afternoon is none other than the legend, Mr. Richard Moss. Richard, how are you, sir?
Good afternoon. I'm good. You?
I'm good. Yeah, it was a very sad day for football yesterday.
Shocking, wasn't it?
We start there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the lad Sartic from Millwall, who obviously played against Town. I think he played, 33 games? I was reading this morning, Gov. It was only 10 days ago. He was man of the match for Montenegro against Belgium.
Really?
I mean, yeah, look, really, really sad when that broke yesterday morning. It's one of them ones where you read it and you think, this can't be true. 26, very talented young goalkeeper. Played for quite a lot of clubs on loan. He was at Wolves, Stoke, a lot of clubs. And then a bit later on, was it a couple of hours later, Martin, the news about Kevin Campbell. And I know he'd been ill, and I read in the last couple of weeks that he'd been ill, but you still don't expect it. I was watching some bits on Sky Sports. He was famous for his dicky bow. I sent you, didn't I, the goal? I remember that game I went to in 92 when Arsenal beat us 4-2 in the Cup, and he scored. And tell us your story about your Kevin Campbell you put in the WhatsApp yesterday.
Well, I loved Kevin Campbell as a player. And when I was 11, I think, there was a news article went around that Everton were up for sale for £1. And me and a friend from school, we used to dream about owning Everton for £1. Because it was £1. And even as 11-year-olds, we had £1. And we used to go for our Merlin sticker book and go, Alessandro Pistoni, sell. Thomas Gravison, keep. And we always used to build our team around Kevin Campbell. He was always the centerpiece. We thought he was an excellent player. And it was always the player we built around. It was always one of those sort of fantasy football dreams you have when you hear a team's up for sale for £1. And yeah, I still love watching him play. It was my sort of football player, Kevin Campbell. And it's really sad news. And obviously the goalkeeper, as you mentioned, incredibly sad news there. Our thoughts are with his friends and family.
It's sad when you think a lot of footballers. I think a lot of people think that they're indestructible, Martin. They're on big money. They're always in the limelight. But at the end of the day, they're just like me and you. You have illnesses and that. Yeah. And look,
Then you've got Alan Hansen, obviously, who's not well himself, and our thoughts obviously with him and his family, etc. Because another big character of growing up, right? Because if you grew up loving football, you grew up with Alan Hansen on Matchday.
I remember him playing, obviously, because I'm a little bit older than you, for the great Liverpool side. And then you all remember the phrase, Alan Hansen, you won't win nothing with kids. You know, that's like synonymous with Match of the Day. When they say, oh, Alan Hansen was on Match of the Day. Oh, yeah, do you remember that time when Man United lost to Villa, I think, first game of the season, and Fergie played all his kids? Yeah, you win nothing with kids. And then Man United went on to win the league. So we really hope that he pulls through. But it's just, life's so precious, and you just need to live each day and enjoy it. And like today's Father's Day, I know your dad's not around, Martin, and Matt's dad's not around. And you just have to enjoy these days. And like tonight, England are playing. Enjoy it. Look, everyone gets frustrated with football, but it's all the common goal is we all love it, don't we? And when we see that news yesterday, it's just it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
It is. It's incredibly sad news. And you're right. England do play today, and it's the third day of the European Championships. It kicked off Friday night with Germany playing against themselves. Let's be honest.
Come on.
I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
Look, it was great. When they said there was 150,000 Scots in Munich, and it was like 4% of the population. And then I see an interview, I think it was Friday afternoon. There he was, Brian Gunn. He was in Germany. Angus was in goal. Hey, well done, Angus. Done well there, didn't you? When you have the Norwich City goalkeeper. Well, it's hard to judge the Germans, isn't it? Because Scotland was so poor. I think Germany will be quite strong because they've got that home advantage. But Scotland they were dreadful. And I listened yesterday morning, I was listening to 606, and there was a lot of Scottish fans. Oh, it would have been different if we'd have played Billy Gilmore. Really? I don't think he's going to make that much difference. It was quite. If you look at that game and you watch the whole game, and you've got Kieran Tierney celebrating winning the goal kick after 4 minutes. I mean, that was the highlight, other than maybe the goal. Well, look, it was better second half for them when they only lost 2-1. But
red cards changed games, though, didn't they? And obviously, with the man advantage,
dreadful tackle. When I see it to start with, I thought, is it because he's had to get a block on the ball? But then you see it, and it's lucky he didn't break his ankle, wasn't it?
It is. And then, of course, you see on Saturday, yesterday, you see the other two teams in that group. Who's your sort of second place out of that group now? It's Hungary and Switzerland or Scotland. And so I thought the Swiss looked like a well-oiled machine yesterday.
Hungary they've had some really good form, but the first half there, the Swiss just blew them away. It was interesting, wasn't it? They've got the automated offside that we're going to have in the Premier League. I think we ain't having it to start with. I think it's coming in the autumn. And it was obviously the first Swiss goal. He was given offside. The linesman gave him offside. And then they went to that. Really good. Yes.
Very quick.
But this is what I've gathered from obviously watching the last World Cup and a little bit of the Euro so far. I think VAR, it's a good system that they've got in place, Martin. It's just the way it was implemented over here. And it seems a lot slicker, a lot quicker. And then we get to last night's game. I think it's Michael Oliver was the ref. And I'm still not sure how Rodri's not got a red card for the foul in the Croatia game. But there you go. Spain looked good.
Spain again were good. They looked
16-year-old playing up front. You know, he was playing. And the Spain. This is where England tonight. So you've got Germany who've laid down a marker. Spain have laid down a marker. England need to do that tonight. You know, to follow their sort of the blueprint that they've set. Will they? Look, we all hope, don't we? Every single tournament that England are going to do it, and there's so much chat. And look, it's the time is now. I was listening on the way home from work, and they were on about Harry Kane. This is the tournament now. He's 31. He's probably going to play another, and he'll do the World Cup, but he'll be at the back end of his career. If he's ever going to win anything now for England or win anything, he's not won anything in his career. This is the time to strike. I mean, we've got all the ammunition going forward. Defensively worries me. You know, look at the fullback situation. You've got Trippier playing at left back. You've got I know people moan about Maguire, but I think we'll miss him this tournament because I think he's good in both boxes, Martin. He dominates the ball, and he can score a goal. You've got that Gahey from Palace, who's untried. John Stones, I was reading about him yesterday. He's only played 12 games all season in the Premier League. So
Good player though. I mean,
yeah, Stone's a good player.
International level.
And they were saying about Kane as well. The injury he had towards the end of the Bundesliga, that could benefit England because he's had that time out. Because look, we always say, don't we, when we're coming into these tournaments, we're so tired. No excuses. There is literally zero excuses this time. Look, you never know what happens. You might get to a semi or a final and you might miss out on a penalty kick because we have before. But it's just, it interests me because I think the team's out this morning. He's playing Trent Alexander-Arnold in midfield. He's not a midfielder, is he? He's a right back. They're trying to obviously turn him into that. I'd play Cole Palmer all day long. I would play.
That's what Wayne Rooney said, wasn't it, on Sky? He said he likes Trent, doesn't trust Trent defending in the centre of the park, which I found probably similar to what you think. Yeah, there. If you're not a big fan of Trent,
he's a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. His range of passing is brilliant, but
is he good at defensively?
The
defensive
not defensively as a right back because obviously he's not being picked there, is he? So they're trying to put him into another position. And look, the group games you'll probably be okay, but when you get deeper into the tournament and you're playing. I agree with him. It's defensively what might let us down. This is why I'd play Palmer. Try and outscore the opposition like we done last season, Martin.
Best keeper though in the tournament for me.
Pickford,
best keeper. We have the best goalkeeper in this one. Yeah, for me, hands down. I'm a big fan of Jordan Pickford. Big.
I don't think. I know people will say they'll moan. He's never let England down. This is a thing. He's never let England down in the tournament. Touch wood, he doesn't in this. I think there's a dearth of top goalies anyway. But
I'm biased because I'm English, so of course I'm going to say he's the best.
I think he's a good player. But yeah, if I was picking a team, the only change I'd make to the team was I'd put Bellingham. I'd play him in the middle with Rice as an 8, and then I'd play Palmer, and I'd get another attacker in there because they said if you play him wide, Palmer, he's not really. He goes looking for the ball, so he might not sort of play to sort of you want a formation, but also I think Foden, massive tournament for him, Martin, brilliant player. We're going to see him in the flesh next season, but not delivered for England, not done it on the big stage, and I'm hoping that he does it. I think England will get. I think we can win it. Will we win it? Who knows?
Well, I've got England in the family sweepstake, and I've got Scotland, so England are my only hope. Let's be honest. So I'm hoping they'll obviously win it from.
I've got Georgia in the Talking Town sweepstake, so obviously they're going to do absolutely bugger all.
Well, this is it. But I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, last night you had, just to very quickly put a nice little bow on it, Italy, Albania giving the Italians a scare. Have you seen the social media banter with the Albanians breaking the spaghetti?
Yes, I've seen the spaghetti. What was that throwing all about after 20 seconds? What was it all about?
From your captain as well.
Great finish.
Unbelievable.
Great finish.
Yeah, very good finish, yeah.
But look, it's this tournament, and I think we said on the WhatsApp group, you're going to struggle not to qualify, aren't you? Because you've added all them extra teams. And I think
there's too many teams.
There's only going to be 2 third-place teams are going to miss out. So this is like Scotland. Steve Clark's saying they could 4 points and they qualify. But look, we know why they want more teams. It's more money. And it does give like teams like Scotland that the exposure where probably
the quality's not there. But saying that, have you found a lot of teams that a lot of international teams? There's no the quality is different, but there's no drop off in terms of how they play. Like even yesterday, Hungary and Albania were trying to play out from the back.
I'm
thinking this is really great, isn't it? It's like football's evolved in this. Like no one goes long ball anymore. Like not one team at this tournament so far we've seen 4 or 5, but we'll go long ball, and I like that. Football's pleasing on the eye, isn't it? No.
Yeah, I think this is obviously we've seen it in League One, Martin, when we were there. I know there's a lot of teams that used to sit back and pop part of the bus, but yeah, Oxford. Good luck in the Championship next season with your three-sided ground.
And Norwich
look, the majority of teams now, don't they? They want to get the ball down. They want to play out from the back, and
nice. Isn't it?
We'll see next season how good we are playing out from the back against top-class Premier League players, because we might have to sometimes maybe mix it up a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just surprised, particularly yesterday, watching Albania try to outpass Italy. It's not something I'm used to seeing. Countries where you traditionally would have thought Italy, Albania, or even Hungary, Switzerland. I would have gone with a different game plan. But modern football in this day and age, it's all about having that ball retention and using it. And it's just
you want a bit of Wimbledon. Do you want a bit of Wimbledon?
Do
you want a bit of Wimbledon? 4-4-2. Launch it to the big man up front.
Yeah, I want a bit of Mike Bassett.
Get the small man running off him.
Sometimes I think you need that, but that's why I'm not a football manager. That's why I'm sat right here. Talking of management, we have had our first signing, Mr. Moss. 17-year-old defender Leon Elliott signs.
Don't know nothing about him.
Well,
from Crystal Palace.
He was on episode 5 of the Channel 4 documentary Football Dreams: The Academy, and I thought you would have seen that because if it's anything football related,
don't watch it.
Normally watch
well, you'll be surprised. Yesterday, I watched the first half of the Switzerland game. I was around with mum and dad's, and then I went home, and then I didn't watch any of the other 2 games. I watched a little bit of Croatia, Spain. I'm all over the cricket. I was watching the rain fall in Antigua, and Martin. This is why Martin doesn't like cricket, everybody, because the weather was rather frustrating. Hurricane season, brilliant. Let's go to the Caribbean in hurricane season and have a tournament. Well done, boys.
Yeah,
but England progressed, and we're back Tuesday night at 9:00 with a cricket show. So come and join us.
Okay. But yeah, so that we have that first signing, Leon Elliott. Good defender, they say. Frank in the chat says good defender at 17 is real promise. Obviously, a player for the future. You're not going to.
He's obviously for the 23s, and they're going to pop him in there and see how he progresses, and maybe does he have a loan move? Maybe in January. You don't know.
Too young for that at 17. Wasn't there a defender we signed a couple of years ago from Fulham that everyone was sort of saying, "Oh, is he one to watch?"
There's a couple. But I think we're probably in the position now to take a chance on some of these young lads, if they do make the breakthrough. But then we have got our own young defenders in your Baggots and your Corey and Darbers. So, and they've not really made the breakthrough yet. So it's interesting to see what comes of them in the summer.
Yeah. Being a Frank says, I'm glad the Saints got promoted. Otherwise, we might have been tempted to go for Shea Adams, and that would have been a huge mistake.
We can still go for him because he's out of contract.
Has he not signed a new deal there?
No, he was out of contract. Well, it's interesting because Alex McCarthy was out of contract there. Yet now, I think they've offered him a new contract because obviously I think Bazuna's injured, isn't he? So he's probably going to be their backup. I see they signed Adam Lallana, didn't they? Southampton. I think Ryan Fraser. They're signing him. Obviously, he was on loan. Harwood Bellis. So look, they're getting their ducks in a row. The window's open, and I'd expect there probably to be a little bit of business by the end of June. I'd be surprised if we didn't get a signing in by then.
Yeah. I've got some transfer speculation, and we'll come to that just towards the end of the show. But first of all, obviously, sort of a news roundup. Season ticket holders moved. A bit of a fiasco. In fact, I was in the car, and suddenly Luke Deal on Radio Suffolk was at the ground talking about it. And I thought, okay, it's maybe a bit of a bigger deal than I've paid attention to it. You know a lot more than I do. What's been going on? And
obviously, because look, there's loads of work going on. When I went down to Portman Road the other week, got this beautiful cup from Planet Blue, by the way.
Second mortgage.
They're I think it's only about tenner. I think it's about
tenner for a mug.
Yeah, I think so. But they'd knocked out the 2 remaining boxes that they're going to build at the end of the Magnas. Obviously they'd run out of money. Obviously when they put them executive, so that was being done. Loads of work. I see this Radio Suffolk video. There's a load of seats being. There was a digger over your side in the lower Cobbold. Down the front there, so they were doing some work. But yeah, obviously, I think Mark Ashton said I think it's about 750 people were going to have to be moved, Martin, when he done his 2-part interview, and he said he did say, "Don't contact the club, we'll contact you." Block D. So this is the main. Yeah,
aren't families being split? Isn't that the fiasco that I'm sort of picking up?
Well, there's a lot of
father and
to start with Block D. Obviously, that was.
The posh
in
seats.
The Cobbold, right in the centre there.
Yeah, leather seats, armrests.
I think I sat in there. The only time I sat in there was for the FA Youth Cup final when we beat Southampton that night. Sat in there, perfect seats. Had a dodgy pie the next day. I remember I was not very well, but I still made it to Leeds. That's the one where Darren Curry missed that sitter right at the end. Yeah, should have scored. But yeah, so they're gone. Them seats. If you're sitting in them seats, you might have had them for 40 years. You're moving because 3,000 away fans are obviously going to be in that stand. So they obviously need 1,000. They're going to move, obviously, them along, which the trouble is, it's the way our ground's designed, isn't it? Because you've got stands. These new sort of stadiums, Martin, and the bowls, you normally go and you're in a corner, aren't you? Away fans, you're in a corner. Whereas we can't do that at town because obviously we're a bit restricted at the minute where... where else can we put away fans? Could we put them in the top of the Sir Alf Ramsey stand up the top? No.
Because you'll be mixing the home and away section.
So they have to come along there. And it's really sad that you're going to have to lose your seat because prime seats right on the halfway line. Great view. You know, just along from you, innit? It's what, a couple of blocks along. You're in B, so 2 blocks along. So, but I always remember when Leeds came to town, and they used to they give them a couple of times in the whole of that Cobbold stand. Yet then people in D block there would still have their season ticket seats. So you'd have 4,000 Leeds fans, and you're sitting in there, and I'm thinking, blimey, that must be a bit intimidating with them. But yeah, so they've gone. They've had to be moved. But I see, yeah, there was a lot of people who got emails moving, just a couple of people, and then other people, part of your family hadn't been moved. I think it was just maybe, look, I know they had a meeting with the Premier League. I think it was in January, because obviously all this stuff that we're doing now, it doesn't just get dropped on your lap. You have to have a meeting just in case that we got promoted, and we did. That forward planning. But this is the first time, really, I think, where the club have not really handed off. Look, the club have done most things, Martin, I'd say near on perfect since they've been like the game changer and Ashton and everything. I think it's maybe a little bit of an own goal. I see some people on, I think it was Monday, getting an email at 4 p.m. saying to ring up at 10 a.m. the next morning about seat moves. Well, you might be at work. You know, it's not just as simple as that. And obviously, there was some people I think I see on one of the Facebook forums. They were on holiday. So, and you're limited now to where you're going to move these people, because you've sold, 20,000 season ticket seats? 3,000 away fans, that's 23. I don't know if we're losing any seats, maybe. I know they're putting that safe standing in the Cobbold. Mate, you're going to lose probably some seats for, they have to bring in a new gantry, I think, in the middle of the Magnus stand. So, it's not great. And I know at the end of the day, the seat, a lot of people think that's your seat. It's not. It's the club seat, isn't it? You're only renting really that seat, because when they come to knock this stand down, you're going to have to move. So, it's going to be it's going to be difficult for people, because I understand with people where you've sat for somewhere for so long and you've sat with other people, because that's what football's all about, isn't it, Martin? You go to the game. Yeah. It's the social thing as well. It's you're going to watch the game, but you're also going to meet your mates, your friends, and you might have sat with them people for 15, 20 years. Because it's like where we sit. It's like where we sit in the lower Magnus. When the boys were older, I would always envisage us moving to the North Stand. But now, because obviously the North Stand's full, I'm not going to get 4 seats together. And another thing, I'm not really going to want to move, because the people I've sat with for the last few years, I want to keep sitting with them. I don't really want to move and go somewhere else. And I've got quite a decent seat. So
because it's your seat.
Yeah, but if the
club said that's how you view it, isn't it?
Yeah, but if the club said to me, you've got to move because we're putting a camera there, I might be in that position where there might be only certain places in the stadium I can go, and I'm not going to get such a good seat that I've got now. But I can see it from both sides, because the club have literally got their hands tied on this a lot. Because you've got a lot of seats now. When you see the tickets go on sale for a game, a lot of them are restricted views up the back of the Magnus stand, up the back of the Cobbold stand where you sit. I would hope that these people who are having to move, when they do eventually come to knocking the Cobbold stand down and relocating these people back into that stand, hopefully, I'm hoping that they should get first refusal on the best seats.
Well, they should go back into the position that you're in. I mean, that's the difference, isn't it? Like when they knock the stand down and I have to move, I'm moving, but knowing I'm going back to more or less the exact same position I was in. So those memories, because I sit in my dad's seat, so those memories will again return, and I'll be back in my dad's seat, and all of those different things, as will many people. The difference here is obviously you're being moved potentially for a number of years. It's difficult. The same view, you definitely won't get the same view as you do in D anywhere else. And it's tough.
Well, I would say now that you won't be returning to Block D, because as long as we're in the Premier League, that's obviously a away section. And they're not going to sell them seats. If we did get relegated back to the Championship, they'd probably open them seats up for general sale. But they're not going to let them. You're not going to have a season ticket there again, Martin, because say we went down and then the next season we get promoted again, you're going to have to move again. So they're not going to do that. I just wonder,
when they had their meeting in January with the Premier League, why they couldn't communicate to people they would have known, because they would have known at this point.
But should the club be
Yeah, should the club be promoted, this is what the plan will have to be. So even if we don't get promoted this year, which we all hope we do, you may want to consider alternatives, of which we have these available now, and we can arrange you to move now if you should so wish. It just feels like you've got the most expensive seat in the house, and you're being told, I mean, they're not even first, are they, in being told that they're being moved? So there's seats already gone out of the door to those that have been moved elsewhere before you.
Well, yeah, like when
it's expensive fucking seat, that D block.
Yeah, like when season tickets, like you say, when renewal time was up, that's when they should have contacted these people and said, look, there is a good chance that if you're going to have to move your seat, so we are going to give you. But then they've only got a limit, like I said earlier, they've only got a limited number of seats now available because this is the price of success, isn't it? That as a team does so well.
6,000, didn't they? Back. They kept 6,000 back last year.
But a lot of them are not great seats, are they? They're up and back of stands. You ain't getting anywhere near as good a view, like you just said there. You ain't getting nowhere near as good a view as you had.
Well, this is it. No, and let's be honest.
But they know,
all things considered.
But they also know that, as angry as you might be, they've got you by the short and curlies because you're not going to say,
they always have.
Oh, fuck it. I ain't going to bother going because they know there's another X how many people would say, all right.
Yeah.
It might not be a great seat.
No problem.
I'll have his season ticket and I'll go and watch Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool because that's just how it is. It's just it's sad how it becomes. And then part of me fast forwards a little bit. How are they actually going to do when it comes time to knock the Cobbold stand down? Are they going to have to? I see someone on Twitter saying they might have to build over it, so you maybe stay there. And then I don't know how they're going to do it. But how are they going to do it? Because how many does that stand hold? Probably over 6,000 people. It's a lot of people to move. And then you're literally going to have no general sale tickets, are you? If that stand gets demolished one summer, it's literally you got your season tickets, your away fans, and that's it.
It'll be chaos because you won't just be moving cobbled season ticket holders. You'll be moving probably South Stand season ticket holders because you'll have to put the away fans somewhere.
Yeah, you have to.
So you will.
Well, obviously, it'll come down because I think it's 10% in it. So, say you lose 6,000-7,000, you're going to get just over about 2.
You still have to put them somewhere, and it won't be the North Stand, and it won't be with the director's box 10 yards away. So it'll be the South Standers that will have to move.
It's a logistical nightmare for the club. It is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I genuinely believe if the Cobble stand wasn't as old as it was, it wouldn't be the stand they're knocking down first anyway. I think the Magnus stand is the worst stand. It's terrible view.
Well,
it's cramped as anything.
Yeah, that was from like when that was built. The first, like where I sit, was obviously terrace, and then you've got the middle section where the director's box. They were there already. That was already there. That was already. They've just built that stand literally on top of it. And you get now like, I don't know if have you sat in the director's box, Martin?
No.
Seats in there. When Martin was alive and we sponsored, I think Josh Carson, we went to FA Youth Cup games. I mean, the first 2 rows are okay. Other than that, you wouldn't get in the seat. It's literally you are in there. You've got no leg room, and that probably does need to go as well. That does. I totally agree with you.
I think if my stand wasn't as old, that would be the first one they would look to. Personally, whenever I've sat in it, I've never enjoyed it. It's always cramped. You can't see the byline if wherever you sit, like either end.
But then your stand's old. Your stand's old, and Mark Ashton said. I think Mark Ashton said in interviews before the Cobbold stand, they obviously get a safety certificate for it, but they struggle. And I can understand that when the times I remember the Burnley game when me and Matt were queuing to get in there, and you think it's pokey, it's like, look, it's old, but this is part of the appeal of what Portman Road is because
it's old, it's pokey. We barely got any
home, isn't it? It's home, and you wouldn't want to knock your ground down and build a new stadium out of town. And I know a lot of people might be on board with that, but I wouldn't want that because I see this morning. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Go online and have a look at Everton's new stadium. They've given a tour. There was Kevin Sheedy and Leon Osman doing a tour. Looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. But you're still gonna. It's hard when you move, like Goodison Park. Great stadium, but
the thing is, Rich, I'll challenge that because you'll get people who will say, "Oh, just move them in regards to the seats. It doesn't matter if it's a seat." But then you mention leaving Portman Road, and then you then feel what these people are now feeling in moving their seats because those seats are their part of Portman Road. It's their memories. So when people in the chat saying, "Oh, it's only a seat. You don't own it. Just move anyway." Well, it's only a stadium. Like the same thing is the exact same thing. Like you can't belittle someone's upset for moving their seat and then say, "Oh, but we can't leave Portman Road." Like it's the exact same feeling for that person in Block
Because
D.
you've just sort of trampled all over your argument there when you've said, "Oh, it's on your seat." You have. But then if I was paying 900 over 900 quid, I've got the best seat in the house, and then now
but it's
I'm
not just the seat. That's the thing.
No,
you own that seat. You own that seat in your own
memories.
heart.
They're in a really difficult position, the club. I wouldn't want to be in their position.
I don't envy them. I never envied the football club. They've got so much going on. Trevor says, how about a brand new stadium in the future? It would solve all these problems which you just mentioned there. We've got a great comment, which I've missed. Oh, hang on. Is it here? Oh, Paul Smith. Good afternoon, All Town fans. Is anyone bothered? We haven't signed any new players yet. Rich, are you bothered?
No. I think West Ham are about the only team who've signed the player. They signed some Brazilian guy the other day. Well, the window's only just open. Blimey, let's just pump the brakes. Let's just chill out. There's stuff going on in the background. We know there is. There's talks and stuff happening, and Halaki's contract's still on that table, isn't it? Still unsigned.
They've just lost the pen to sign it with. That's
they haven't. He's not signing.
Look. Since Staples got knocked down, it's hard getting pens at Portman Road. So there's obviously a delay in the Amazon delivery because he can't sign it clearly because it's on the table.
We didn't have that pen that time when was it Simon Clegg was down there, and I think we had Charlie Austin down there.
Charlie Austin, yeah.
Sean Derry was down there. No, couldn't
great
time.
Times.
Couldn't locate
great
that pen.
Times.
Charlie
the
Austin
pen was lost. Yeah, Charlie Austin. But we have got obviously the fixtures coming up. Tuesday that's fixture release day, isn't it? I've got that right in my diary.
I hope so, because we're live at 9 a.m. Hope you're going to.
We're doing a show, and I'm on a Sky Sports News.
What time are you on?
Twitter Space midday 12. So I hope it's this Tuesday.
Have you got babysitter?
No, not yet. But
well, if you haven't, there's always someone who's available.
I know. Yeah, I'm sure Matt Fix is available. Yourself.
He's in Harlow that day. He's in Harlow.
Oh, is he? What a shame. But yes, we've got fixtures coming up. So we're going to go live. Obviously, 9 a.m. Tuesday morning. You can hear me on Twitter at lunchtime as well. But I thought we'd play a little bit of just fantasy fixture predicting. Who do you fancy first day, Boxing Day, and your last three, and why? James says, I'd love Spurs' first game of the season or Liverpool. I think Spurs' first day of the season would be sort of retro vibes, right? Because obviously, previously, first day of the season, we went to Spurs. Mark Venus, Thunderbolt free kick. Yeah. Sergei Rebrov's first game, I think, if I remember right.
Yeah, he played. Stephen Carr was playing. Darren Anderson.
Down the wing.
I think Les Ferdinand was playing for them that day.
Probably was. So opening day of the year, who do you want, Rich? I got mine, but who do you want?
Well, they say, don't they, that these fixtures are normally done by the computer and they're random. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Okay.
You've only got to look at last season when the first game there was on the Friday night, and it was Burnley versus Man City. Now, who was Burnley's manager? Vincent Kompany. Who did he play for? Oh yeah, he was captain of Man City and probably one of their best players. So that wasn't a random fixture. That was obviously for the TV. Who do I think we'll get? I wouldn't be surprised. Liverpool normally play a promoted team. I think they're one of the teams who've played one of the promoted teams the most, I think. So it wouldn't surprise me if we got them. Another thing, it wouldn't surprise me with McKenna's links to Man United. It wouldn't surprise me if we got them. Who do I want? I want a game that we can go into and we could win. So give me Nottingham Forest at home. Not away, because I've been to the City Ground about 9 times. I've never seen us win there. I've got an absolute stinking record. But saying that, look, I know a lot of people will look at the fixtures when they come out, and I will look in that first 5 to 6 games. I want at least 2 fixtures in there, Martin, that we think we could get some points from.
Okay.
Because
right. Well, I want Man City first day away.
I don't, because I won't be able to go because I'm landing from Rome at 1 o'clock on that Friday.
No,
if it's on the Saturday,
it'll be a Sunday.
Well, as long as it's not a Friday night away. Friday night at Portman Road, I can make it. Any away games on the Friday night, I'm out.
I just think the Euros, top players coming back a bit later.
You think we can cause a shock?
And no, I just think if you're going to play Man City, it's probably the best time away opening day. When they're not in their groove.
Take a 3-0 defeat now.
but you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to say, where's a good time? There's never a good time to play them, but when's probably the better time?
Well,
players returning late from Euros, perhaps transfers not yet formalised or fitted in, or the system's not grooving, or whatever. Any excuse you want to give.
Don't worry. Haaland's not playing in the Euro, so he'll be nice and fresh.
Well, yeah, but I got Luke Wolfenden to sort that out. Don't worry about it. I got Wolfie. It's all good. Wolfie at the back. Don't worry about that.
But whoever it's going to be, we will look at fixtures. There'll be certain games that we're going to have to target to try and win. But people need to just realise that when we look at there and you see a Bournemouth or a Brentford or maybe a Crystal Palace, just look at the players they've got. Don't just go on the name of the club and think, oh yeah, but Brentford at home easy. You'll see their players, and they've all got established Premier League players.
Yeah. I'm sticking.
You'll use that old phrase. We will use that phrase, and I will use it probably to death next season. There are no easy games. We haven't got Forest Green or Accrington Stanley in our league anymore, Martin.
It's true. This is true. All right, Boxing Day. For Boxing Day, I'll tell you who I'd like Boxing Day. I would like Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa at home. Champions League Aston Villa. December.
But they always used to, when I was younger, you'd always get a local game. So keeping it local. I love West Ham Boxing Day.
Yeah, West Ham Boxing Day. Yeah, home or away?
Home or away. Either. I wouldn't mind.
You'll be going either way.
Yeah. And I think I'm not sure if you get so many fixtures over Christmas time.
A little break.
Yeah, and I think there's only about 4 midweek rounds. I was reading up yesterday. I was looking when the international breaks are. If I need to book a holiday anytime. Not missing any games, said to Susie yesterday. But can we go on holiday in March or April? No, not when there's football. There is an international break in March. So I might toodle off there somewhere. But Chelsea Boxing Day, I think we played them when Burley was in charge. Was that a Boxing Day when it was 2-2? Martin, did you go to that game? Marcus Stewart and Scully scored. We were 2-0 down. Good Johnson.
Oh,
Zola.
Was it on?
No,
not Sky.
No, Ed De Hoy was in goal.
Ed De Hoy. I call that is in the late 90s then.
Leboeuf was playing. Lasso.
Yeah, Leboeuf. Desailly.
Yes, you say he was playing.
What a great combination they were, Leboeuf and Desailly. Great combination. We got, but James says, Chelsea Boxing Day. Charlie says, get Man United first game any team could win there, which is interesting. James also says, Man City start slow. Stricker says, I thought there'd be no Premier League Boxing Day. Wow, really?
Well, I think there'll be some games, but there won't be a full program because there won't be a full program because they normally spread all them games out, don't they, over that Christmas the week?
Well, yeah, the Boxing Day game that we would call Boxing Day is normally spread around, but that's just football. Like you don't get Saturday 3 p.m. anymore. You get Monday, Thursday, Friday. Sunday,
interesting, actually,
Saturday.
how many times we play at 3 p.m. on a Saturday?
Oh, hardly at all.
Well, because you'll have there'll be some fixtures in there when you have to play at 2 p.m. on a Sunday because the team you're playing are in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got your Sky games. It's going to be. This is when reality will hit home Tuesday morning. When we look at them fixtures and think, Christ, look at them first 5, and you'll have bloody Liverpool, City, Arsenal probably in there, and you're thinking, Christ, where are the points coming from? What we need to do this season, Martin, is we've just not been very accustomed to losing games, have we?
No.
Over the last 2 seasons, and we need to get our heads around that we are going to lose. We're going to lose games, and we're probably going to go. You could go 2 months without winning a game, but everyone just needs to. Arsenal at home would be tasty, wouldn't it? First day of the season.
Paul Smith says Arsenal at home. Red Dwarf says, hi guys, love the show as always. Totally sympathise with the City goals who are being forced to move. Must be very frustrating. On the flip side, I go match by match, and obviously couldn't get us into it at all. And hopefully someone up from anybody who's disgruntled with having.
Like I said, these people who are a bit disgruntled, they're just going to have to just suck it up, aren't you? It's all you can do.
It's all you can do. And then for the last 3 games, I have gone a little bit of what you just said we mustn't do, which is there's no easy games. But
You're going easy games. Here you go. Bournemouth,
Brentford, Palace, and Forest. They're my last 3. So if we are needing points to stay up, those 3 teams may or may not be in or around, or they may be able to, change things. I fancy those 3. I want those 3, particularly Forest and Palace. But Brentford,
why Palace?
Because it's Brentford. I don't fancy him next year. But I'm no one to talk. Literally no one to talk.
Elise.
Yeah, but the window can change things. I just said Palace because Crystal Palace were a team that came to my mind. I was thinking of 3 teams, if I'm honest. That's the truthful reason. I needed 3 teams. I wanted 3 teams I thought we could beat.
There's certain games I'm looking forward to going to away.
And we've got a Palace fan who watches. So I thought
Crystal Palace wouldn't be actually high up on my list because you know what Sellers Park's like. It probably hasn't changed from when we lost 5-0 and Glenn Murray was slotted away penalties for fun that night.
Don't. That's the thing. I know we've got a Palace fan that watches us, and I love that he does watch us. But I just thought I'd stir the pot a little bit, so get those winding up banter going early. So I thought I'd go Palace, Brentford, and Forest. That's the truthful reason.
I'll take them 3. I'd take them 3 because look, are we going to be in a relegation fight? Nobody knows, but I think the smart money would say the smart money would say, yeah, we're probably going to be. So, yeah, look, who do I want the last 3? I probably wouldn't want to go to Man City because you know that they're probably just won 10 on the trot. So you don't want any teams really. You're probably going to get one decent team, Martin, in them last 3. Spurs. Hang on, I said decent teams.
Wasn't the year we got relegated 3 of the last 4? Arsenal, Man United, Bolton, and Liverpool. Am I remembering that right?
We had Arsenal. Middlesbrough was in there because we beat Middlesbrough 1-0 when Darren Bent scored. Then we had Man United when Van Nistelrooy done his swallow dive at the
Swan
North
dive,
Stand end. And then obviously Liverpool was away last game of the season when we got absolutely slapped. Combined score of 11-0 against Liverpool that season.
Yeah, home and away. Bad
Scary
times.
thought, isn't it?
Welcome to the big time. Welcome to the big time. You know,
Charlie says Palace will be pushing for
Europe next year.
Wow,
big shout. You know, what do you think about that? Do you think Palace was?
Well, Glasner's done well since he's gone there. Obviously, McKenna was linked, wasn't he? He was in the mix for them. Look, Palace they're one of the teams we could aim to sort of replicate, Gov, because they're an established Premier League team now. I know Selhurst Park is bloody donkey's years old, and we're on about building new stands and that, and they haven't probably done a lot there since they were back in the bloody 90s. It hasn't changed a lot. I know they've got a new stand behind the goal, like obviously it was Terrace, but they're a team on the pitch. Look, I think last season was their highest finish in the Premier League. I think it was 10th. You know, that's their ceiling. Crystal Palace probably 10th. It probably is. Charlie's saying they could push for Europe, maybe, but then like you say, when you've got players of the calibre of Elise and Eze, you are gonna. They've got 4 players in, but how long do these players, Martin, stay Palace players? Because you know what happens nowadays. It's like Adam Morton.
100%.
It's like Adam Morton now.
Yeah.
He's played a few games for Palace. He's played a couple of games for England. Now you've got Man City looking at him.
Frank says 3 to go down of Forest, Brentford, and Everton. So very similar.
Yeah. Everton, I don't know. They might be under new ownership. They've obviously got their last season at Goodison. They're not going to want to get relegated and be starting life at their new ground in the Championship, are they?
No. Shrieker says points deductions will potentially play a big part for the bottom 3.
Leicester have got to be in the mix to start with. I don't know when their points deductions are going to come off. You thought that would have been soon, wouldn't you? Really?
They've only had like a few months to sort it out. The Premier League, you know, like be ready for it.
But don't worry. Man City has still got 115 charges hanging over their heads, and that's never going to be seen anytime soon, is it?
No, it certainly isn't. But no, Palace are a good Premier League side. They're established, but they're also a team that you wouldn't necessarily be scared to play in the last 3. But you wouldn't. It's not Man City or Liverpool, is it? Where you're thinking, well,
we're trying to. We don't know because we're looking ahead, aren't we? And we might have ripped it up. We might be sitting comfortably mid-table.
Imagine that.
We might have had the deck chairs out. Deck chairs and flip-flops on.
I'd love that, but they might if we aren't, you know, sitting in 10th or wherever, you know, they might be sort of not be able to do anything as it were. But it's interesting. But we've got the fixture release show coming up at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. I'm live on the Twitter Spaces at midday, so that's us. But
who are you rubbing shoulders with on there? Who else?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I had to laugh though because to send me a DM, their account had to follow me. And if you looked at their number of followers...
Gov did put in the WhatsApp, but for me, have you two been followed by Sky Sports Premier League today? We're like, no. How many million?
12 million. 12 million followers, right? And I just generally thought it was someone having a wind-up, because I was like, is that an accident? Is that my mistake? Have they followed you or Matt?
Sky Sports.
What I had to laugh about was their followers are 12.2 million, and they follow 39 accounts. They follow all the Premier League teams, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Jamie Carragher, and me.
Oh, you're in very good company there.
I had to laugh. I was like, this is the only time I'm ever going to be followed by anybody.
It's unbelievable.
Only following those 4 people.
What company to keep.
I know. Crazy, isn't it? because I had to follow me to message me, but made me laugh anyway. It's one of those would I lie to you
everybody.
Moments.
Gov's massive.
No, it's one of those would I lie to you moments. Like in 10 years' time, I was once on a list of people followed by that was Jerry Carragher, Gary Neville.
You wouldn't be able to. That's a game of Guess Who. Unbelievable.
It made me laugh. Right, transfer news. We have got a little bit of something. A journalist, sports journalist, editor-in-chief at Sport Time newspaper, a Greek.
Yeah, I see that this morning.
10,000 followers. Here it is in all its glory, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try and zoom in a little bit so you can definitely
18
see
million.
it. Yeah, so Ipswich Town offer for Panathinaikos, Greece international striker. I'm going to try and say the name.
Oh, this is one. Gov's hoping they're not going to sign anybody with difficult names.
Ioannidis has been rejected. Offer of 22 million. I believe he was Panathinaikos Player of the Year for a couple.
He got 20 odd goals. I was having a look this morning. They've rejected it.
They've rejected it. But what's your thoughts on that? It's not.
I don't know anything about him. I was looking on Twitter and I think it was Luke Penning who has been on this platform. He'd shared it and he said he's got a lot of the attributes that would fit into a McKenna side. So a lot of money in it. 18 million, blimey.
Well, it is a lot of money, but he's 24, I think, from memory. A Greek international. This is the sort of signing you would expect, though, isn't it? A player that you can sign for what we would call big money, but let's be real, in football probably isn't. That you can develop and it can get better and better, right?
Yeah, but you're only going to have a limited amount of money to spend, and he's a bit of a look. They'll obviously know about him if they even have looked at him. But I wouldn't expect us to spend that money on someone who's not played in this league, Martin. I think it's a massive risk for a team like Town who've just got promoted. There'll be players out there. Look, we're going to have to go to Europe and look for some. I'd say for some bargains. I don't think 18 million's a bargain. If you're saying we're going to spend 18 million on Amari Hutchinson, I'm on board with that because I think you know what you're getting, and he's been at the club. Seen
Amari play, that's why.
Yeah, but I don't see us spending that amount of money on someone who's never played in this country. I'd be amazed. I would, honestly.
No.
And I don't think to start with, I'd be working at the other end of the pitch is where I'd be starting looking for a goalkeeper and a centre half. If that's where I'm aiming my focus to start with. Goals, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think we've got enough goal scorers at the minute at the club who can score goals. Chaplin, Broadhead, George Hurst, Wes Burns. Obviously, Amari, if he doesn't come back, you're going to have to replace his goals. He's got, 10 goals? So you're going to have to get someone in that position.
To be fair to that, he got 15 goals last year at 24 starts. He got 5 and 5 in the Europa League. Like, that's me, all right, if that's £18 million worth these days. Strikers goals win games.
You'll be reciting his name all summer to get it correct, wouldn't you?
Ioannidis? I'm going to go with Ioannidis.
Especially if you're going to be on these shows like Sky Sports News and they come to you and you've got to get your pronunciations bang on. We can't have Andre Dazels, can we? And we can't pronounce his name.
I did start to learn Greek. Not because of this, but I did start to learn Greek about a year ago. So I'm disappointed I can't quite get the first name. But I think I've got the surname. I'm not quite sure, though. But I did start to learn Greek. Love Greek.
Why did you start learning and have you stopped?
Yeah, I started. Yeah, because I'm barely mastered the English language, let alone the Greek one. One of those ideas you get, and you think after 3 weeks,
this is a bit too odd. This
ain't going in. This just ain't going in. But no, I'll try and get back on the bike and win it. Steve B says, great player, very skillful. Harp says, same as you, need to shore up our defence first and foremost.
Yeah.
Norman says, Cruncher, when Hurst got injured last season, we're talking for goals until Moore arrived.
Oh, no, I'm not saying we don't need to sign another striker. We do, obviously. Goals win games.
But we aren't winning no titles, Charlie. So it don't matter about the titles. Just get me more goals. Get me goals. Like, surely, I'd rather lose 5-4 than lose 4-1, 3-1. Like, you're going to ship goals. Look at the last. Look at the 3 went down this year.
Well, that's what you've got to try and not be like a Sheffield United who conceded 101
you
goals.
You could sign Prime Maldini, Nesta, Tony Adams, and Lee Dixon you're probably going to concede goals at the top level.
We're not staying in this league if we're leaking goals for fun. Like, what? How many times did they concede 5 at home? I think it was over 5 or 6 times. Sheffield United.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's
a couple of sevens in there. There's a couple of sevens in there. I'm not saying we will take some beatings. I think everybody, you've got to open your eyes to that. That's just, you're going to come up against bloody international players. But this is why, defensively, this is where I'll be looking to. I'm not saying you're going to be. How many clean sheets did we keep last season? 14.
Yeah, something like that.
We won't be keeping 14 clean sheets this season.
Or if you're lucky.
Well, so yeah, but you've got to be defensively tighter. So that's where I'm looking. This lad might be a good player, but for 18 million and the budget we've got, I think that's too much of a risk. I'm not blowing.
But you just sign him on a 5-year deal and split it across 5 years, like Chelsea do.
Yeah, possibly.
Right. Basically, 3 million a year, 4 million a year.
Easy. Get you in charge.
Put me in charge. Mark, give me a call. I'm free all summer. But there we go. So I saw the FFP out. Don't worry about it. But yeah, first transfer sort of speculation where you could think, oh, that's interesting, because it's obviously blows our transfer history out the window.
It's only 4.5 million. That's going anyway. Of
course it is.
That's going in the first couple of signings, I would have thought.
Oh, the first signing. If that's true, I mean, this gentleman, 10,000 followers. No reason to think it's not a. It's one of those links you think, oh, I'm not quite sure on that. It's just an interesting one that came up. Wasn't expecting it. Very left field. Panathinaikos, Greece international striker. Exciting, really.
Because
Tara's finally back in the headlights.
Because it's been pretty quiet on the transfer front, hasn't it? Really.
Certainly has.
Not been many links. There was a couple of links. Yeah, there was a couple of links to Rodon. I think he was. I didn't know he's played 44 times for Wales. So. I think he was probably one of the best defenders in the Championship last season. Spurs have triggered his 12-month extension. So they're obviously going to sell him because he's only played 20 games across 4 years for Tottenham. He would be an ideal signing, Martin. I think he's a realistic signing for me as well. I think 10 to 12 million, I think you get him. Obviously the Welsh connection, and he Broadhead and Burns. Yeah, I think because if you, I know we need some Premier League experience in your team, but if you're getting Premier League experience in your team, you're probably shopping for that type of player in your players who've been released. Because I can't
on a free, on a permanent or a loan.
Yeah,
like what 100%
to do. 100%, I'd sign him permanent.
26.
He's the type of player as well. You these players you sign, you need to keep the majority together. If you do get relegated, you want them to be capable of bringing you straight back up. And he's a player that he's obviously played for Leeds this season. He's a good player, and he showed that he can play in the Championship. He's had 20 games, so he has got a little bit of Premier League experience, but it's only a small sample size, isn't it? And it's where do you get that type of player who's got that Premier League experience, Martin? Because they're going to be your free transfers, like your Barclays and your Townsends that Luton snapped up last season. They're going to have to be, because we haven't got the finances to be signing players from Premier League teams for millions, because we've only just come into the league.
If I said to you, Joe Rodon, £8.5 million, was that the sort of deal you'd be taking?
Yeah, definitely. I think he might cost you a little bit more, possibly, but he's a good age.
Well, I'm just purely going by the SofaScore transfer valuation, and I know I've read about that before, but it just says current player value £8.5 million. So that's what I was going by, purely just by that. Not how accurate that is, but it's a good feed or good pricing point to start the conversation at. Is it too high for you? Too low for you?
I think he probably. Low, I think you might pay a little bit more if it went to 10. Okay. But they're all going to be. Yeah. They're all going to have add-ons, and if you stay in the league, and I think I was listening to the Kieran Maguire, or I was reading it from the East Anglian, and he said it's like we're hampered because over your 3-year period, aren't you? You're allowed to lose 105 million in the Premier League, 35 million a year. Yeah, we've got a season in the bloody League One in our 3 years, and the season in the Championship. So I think we're only allowed to lose 61 million over your 3-year period, whereas Southampton, because they only spent 1 year in the Championship, I think they're allowed to lose about 81, 82. Whereas us, really, we're the team that needs some help, maybe spending a little bit more. But I can see why they don't want a team to come up like a Forest I mean, look, when they come up mine, how many players did they sign? 20? They were literally like a kid at a sweet shop, weren't they?
Yeah, but and I don't know how accurate this is. I haven't looked into it. That's what, £21 million a year. So if you sign this Ioannidis for 18, cost 5 years, that's 3.7.
Yeah.
Off your 20. Like, it's not just because you see the fee of 18, 20 million doesn't mean, oh, we can't sign anybody else. That's the budget for this year. Gone. That just because that's how FFP works from memory. It's across the length of the contract. So
that's where Chelsea that's why Chelsea, all them players they signed, literally they're signing 7 or 8 year contracts, weren't they?
So you still could theoretically sign Ioannidis for 18, 3.6 off the books, leaves you 17, sign Roden. Like there's wiggle room there. That, it's not, it is hard. Kieran Maguire is absolutely spot on. He knows a lot more than I do about everything and anything football finance related. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited about Greek international personally. I just don't want it to be taken away from me. He might not be very good, but I'm all for signing him. I'm all for signing him.
You're excited just to see.
He might be the Ricky Van Wolfswinkel of Ipswich Town. But I'm all for it.
Spent for him. They paid 8 million for him, Norwich, didn't they? When they signed
I'm all for it.
He was dreadful.
I'm all for it. Bit of international
flavour.
Yeah.
I would expect that we'll look. You'll look in that market, them European markets. I think we'd probably sign a couple from Europe, but I don't think we're paying 18 million. I don't think we're paying 18 million. Maybe we will. Who knows?
Oh, we can only dream. Anyway, we are back on Tuesday, 9 a.m. for the Premier League fixture release show. He is back Tuesday evening at 9.
Tuesday at 9.
Tuesday at 9 for the cricket show, talking cricket. We've got Sky Sports News and anything else that comes up. Windows now open. Anything that comes up,
Craig
we'll
Forrest
be here to talk about
Wednesday
it
night.
Craig Forrest.
Wednesday.
Thank you very much for reminding me of that fantastic show coming up Wednesday. 8
PM. Third appearance. Patrick show.
I'll see what I can put together. But we're done for now. What
are we predicting? What are you predicting? England tonight. Come on.
England 4, Serbia 1.
4-1. Wow.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Let's do it.
I'm going for a comfortable 2-0 England win. Kane and I think Kane and Bellingham. We're going to cruise through the groups into the second round. Could get Czech Republic. We'll get a third place team. Then it gets a little bit harder from that stage onwards. But so it should do. But we've had some kind draws under Southgate and we haven't won trophies where whenever we played someone decent, your Frances, your Croatias, your Italy, we've always stumbled, Gov. Is this the tournament where we stick all that to bed?
No. But we'll give them a good, show of support trying.
Jesus Christ. You're so negative.
I was honestly thinking to myself this morning, Rich, my brain can't comprehend in the same year Town get promoted to the Premier League, which is already mind-blowing enough as it is, England win something as well. Like that would be too much like I've gone to heaven. Like,
this could be the perfect season. Town got promoted, Norwich got absolutely pumped in the playoffs, Leeds fell apart.
England win the Euros.
England win the Euros. There you go. It can happen. If this is the summer for it to happen, it's going to happen now.
I'll be pinching myself all summer long if it happens. Am I actually experiencing?
We've got good enough players to win it. Have we? Look, and I know a lot of people will probably, not everyone will agree with me. Have we got the manager to win it? Is he going to take the handbrake off?
No, of course he isn't.
He should do, Gareth, bring back the waistcoat.
I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you.
Bring back the waistcoat, please.
Yeah.
Don't like your attire. Don't like your attire you're wearing now. Get the waistcoat back. But
he's made some bold decisions, leaving Grealish out and everything. So, hey.
But that strikes me as a manager who's going after this tournament, and I think some of them decisions he probably should have made before, where he's picking players who didn't really play. But look, we'll wait and see.
Where's he going?
South. I don't know. I don't know where he goes.
Ten Hag's staying at Man United now, isn't he?
He might just want to rest and put his feet up, and then he might get a job in about October when second season sort of comes in. But I think Southgate, look, whatever happens for me, he's done after this tournament, whether we win it or not. It's his 8th tournament, Martin, as a player and a manager. So,
see, I think he'll be doing the World Cup. I think he'll go through this and into the World Cup, and that'll be it. Personally, unless it's a big like Roy Hodgson level disaster, and Iceland's an omen. But you literally crash out at the group stage.
I see the other day the bit from Sky Sports News where Steve McLaren's in the studio watching the Iceland game, and it's 1-1, and he's like, "Yeah, we've got back in this game. We're looking really good," and he's like, "Oh no."
Another manager that wasn't very good for England. You know, what did they call him? Was it Wally with the Brolly? Croatia.
Yeah,
Wembley,
that was 3-2. Scott Carson played in goal that night.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the big umbrella, didn't he? Yeah, the massive
standing on the touchline. It was absolutely lashing. Now lost 3-2. It's just painful watching England because we always have them hopes, and then we're always Let's see. It might be different this time. It might be different. Don't forget, we are partnered with Stowmarket Osteopaths. Don't live life in pain. Go and see Freddie at Stowmarket Osteopaths. Call 01449 613 633 for all your osteopath and physiotherapy needs. Freddie is the man to help you out with that. Give him a call. 01449 613 633. Match bingo. You've got some bingo cards, £2 a game. Over 18s only. Be gamble aware. But for now, that's the Cruncher. I am the Gov. Go and watch the rest of the Poland game. It's Poland 1-0 up at the moment, I think. Against the Dutch.
Against the Dutch. So, you know, if you've got Holland in the sweepstake, you might be looking very good. But come on, England, and we'll see you during the week. All the best.